Not in yet. Load. All right. We had faith in you, man. Absolutely.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the October 27th, 2025 meeting of the Saratoga County Prosperity Partnership. Call to order the meeting. Has everybody gotten a chance to look at the meeting minutes from our last meeting of March 24th? Any questions, changes? Yes, Rob.
Just want to change, I believe, under the election of officers. Mr. Bolger, secretary. Is that supposed to be treasurer?
Supposed to be treasurer.
Unless you're secretary and treasurer.
I'll just stay treasurer.
Thank you, Brad.
I've on the agenda as March 26th, 2004. Should be.
Yes. So if there are no other changes, may I have a motion to accept the minutes as corrected?
So move.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions or nays? Oh, Mark Cameron has abstained. Thank you. So moved. Our next item is our treasurer's report. Steve?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. So not a lot new in the treasurer's report. Our current bank account balance as of today is $143,858.18. Expenses have remained the same, dating back a couple of years now. These expenses include Zoom, Adobe, QuickBooks, electronic office products, and storage sense. One notable change that will be upcoming is regarding our electronic office products monthly expense. This was for the old copier that had occupied that the partnership had in the old space, which was moved to our planning department to avoid the termination fee, early termination fee. This contract concluded on October 26th, yesterday, and the copier has already been returned back to electronic office products. So this expense will no longer be reflected on future financial reports. In terms of the Startup New York program, the only remaining sponsorship is between PBA and Spark Shop. You'll see on the check reconciliation spreadsheet, check number 2182 reflects Spark Shop's fourth quarter payment in 2025. And so they are all set for the rest of this year. Matt will have more information on that. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on. Beyond that, nothing else to report on.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have any questions for the treasurer? If none, can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. So moved. Our next item is our 2026 budget proposal.
So, got a little out of order. It's on the last page of the packet that we have here. And I do want to just make note of one change. It looks like I messed up on the Excel spreadsheet cells here. So under occupancy tax revenues, it currently says $17,692. That should actually be $21,840.22.
No, 2026 budget.
That's
2026
Yes.
budget. Yep. So yeah, I would suggest just making that change when we make the motion and second to approve it. Other than that, expenses are exactly the same as the previous 2 years, other than, QuickBooks and Zoom going up a little bit. As Steve mentioned, the electronic office products is no longer in there, so we won't have that expense. And then for the Startup New York, the revenue, I have 1 quarter's worth of payment. That contract is active until 2026 of September. So this is just a fail-safe in case we have to process that, along with 1 prorated month of April. outside of that, yeah, it's the same expenses, but if anybody has any questions, I'm gonna answer them.
So the program, the Startup New York leaseback that ends at the end of the first quarter, and we have one extra month available just in case,
Just in case for the April, that'll be when it ends.
and that will be the end of those programs. Then, right?
Across the board for all of them.
Yeah, so we ended CP Saratoga and what was it? CP Saratoga and the other one there last year. Trying to look.
PB.
PVA, yeah. Or no, PVA and Spark Truck is one, CP Saratoga. I don't know why. Yeah,
GG.
GNG Lighting, that's who it was. Yeah, so those ended last year. They were the ones that went over to Hudson Valley as a new sponsorship.
Right.
So yeah, we just have PVA and Spark Shop, and then I'll have another update on that for the next item.
Thank you, Matt. Hearing no questions, will I have a motion to accept the budget for 2026? Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, so moved.
So keeping with the same topic on Startup New York, just wanted to give everybody a heads up. As Steve had mentioned, so I talked to Heidi Rial, who's the head of Spark Shop over there. As it turns out, they're in their 10th and final year of the Startup New York program, which is the last year that they can be in the program. So I have to still get more information from her on when exactly we're going to end in terms of processing the rent. That's why we just have the first quarter and the month of April for next year. I think for tax purposes, what I have to hash out with Heidi is whether it ends December 31st in terms of tax year. So we may not have to process any rent payments for them into next year, but it's there just in case. But at the same time, at some point, they are going to be out of the program in 2026. So we will no longer have any operations, going into 2026. And that will be going into the next discussion topic in dissolution. But if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, and we'll go from there.
I don't think so. It's just a discussion, informational. Yes. Thank you. We can revisit that topic at the next meeting. Any other business that somebody wants to bring forward? No. Okay. Well, hearing that, may I have a motion?
Well, are we
Yeah.
going to the solution?
Okay. Yes.
Right.
I'm sorry. Yes, of course.
Item number
I was
6.
thinking that we were in the 5 blending into 6. Okay, so 6 is a discussion on dissolution. Thank you, Steve.
So going with the Startup New York, the partnership no longer has any operations, in 2026. That's most likely going to be at some point in the first quarter, early spring. And what I'll do is I'll tag in Jim over there, because in terms of the dissolution process, there is a Attorney General's guideline and a whole bunch of steps the board will have to follow. And I'll let Jim. Oh, yes, go ahead, Steve.
If I might, just another key factor in it is, just for everybody's knowledge, I know some of you know it, is when the governor signed the Saratoga County occupancy tax bill that we've been waiting for, that eliminated the required payment under state law of 50% to the partnership, which has been in place since 2016. So until and unless that bill was signed legally, we didn't think we would be able to dissolve the corporation, because there was still that legal requirement under state law. That has now been eliminated. And so I think it's important everybody understands that impediment to getting a dissolution moving forward is no longer.
So that had to go through the state legislature?
Yep.
And signed by the governor?
Yep, it was passed. It was tied in. The state or the county requested that the state make some changes to our occupancy tax law. That was one of them, is eliminate that provision that half the revenue would have to go to the partnership. And it was passed by the Senate and the Assembly in June. And then the governor just signed it 2 weeks ago, maybe whatever it is, roughly 2 weeks ago. So that then freed us up. We were no longer bound by that stipulation.
I just pointed out the other, contracts we had with those other entities under the Start Up New York program have been terminated because of the 10-year period or other reasons, transfers that occurred.
Well, we didn't have to do anything in terms of terminate, like so CP Saratoga and G&G Lighting, they worked it out just through Empire State Development, where when they became the new sponsorship, that was the new active agreement. So we didn't have to do anything on our end.
Oh, okay,
They took it over.
Right. Yeah, and I'm not sure how long, how many years they have left. But
okay, I know, okay.
Right, the partnerships part in it is done.
It's
And then this
completely
was-
transferred to
Right,
Empire State Development.
right, correct.
And the current agreement, which is going to be, like we said earlier, ending in April of 2026, will terminate just by nature of its 10-year expiration
Right.
with the Start of New York program.
Good.
Thank you, Steve. That was good explanation. Thank you.
Right. And
So our legal requirements are pretty much terminated in terms of our basis for existing in terms of the activities associated with Startup New York program.
right, so in 2026, once they're all done,
Yeah.
they're our last remaining operation. Outside of that, all we have is just expenses that would just keep racking up.
And I guess I have a question about, because in terms of the budget, for instance, the digital subscriptions, for example, office equipment. And, it seems like is that gonna be terminated? Is that just
Yeah, those are all
a
gonna be
place center, but it's gonna be all terminated anyway?
exactly
Because there's no reason to pay those.
right. Yeah, so those are 1 year estimates. It's not gonna take a whole year. And a lot of those things like the Zoom, the Adobe, all really I just have to log in, cancel it,
Right,
and those are done.
pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
It's not a year contract or
Right.
anything like that. It's a month-to-month
Correct.
arrangement, so. So those expenses that are in the proposed 2026 budget for place setters in anticipation of the
Right,
dissolution that takes place.
Yep.
And the actual expense will be lower,
right.
for some of those items.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And we'll probably have a few months of expenses just while we're doing the whole dissolution process, and but I'll let Jim speak to that process in more depth.
Yeah, I can certainly walk through the steps. So as Matt indicated, we need to obtain approval of the Attorney General in order to dissolve. We have to submit a plan of dissolution, which essentially describes what is happening with the remaining assets. Under both your articles of incorporation and state law, any remaining assets get distributed back to Saratoga County. So that essentially will be our plan. We have to submit a petition to the Attorney General, and that has to include the plan of dissolution and evidence of voted dissolution by both the board as well as Saratoga County, which is a sole member of the Prosperity Partnership. And we also have to include a final financial report with the petition. Once we obtain approval from the Attorney General, we have 9 months in which to formally dissolve.
Up to 9 months?
Yeah, you have to take action within 9 months of having received the AG approval.
How long will that whole process take?
Hard to say.
Right.
It can be, this is not very complicated. If you are a not-for-profit charity, it's a little more complicated because you have to designate who is going to be getting your assets. In this case, it's your local development corp. That's already spelled out by both your organizational documents and state law. So I don't think this will take too long, but it's always hard to guess how long things are going to take to wind through state government.
So what would the first step be?
I think the first step is we'll have to put together a plan of dissolution, and then we'll have to ask the board as well as Saratoga County to approve the formal dissolution. Once that's in place, we'll have to get a final financial report, package that all up with a petition, submit that to the Attorney General's office.
So who does that plan? You?
Yeah, I
And
work
that?
in conjunction with Matt. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to it.
Sure. Well, I think it would be good to start moving on that, since we don't meet very often. So I'll move that we authorize Matt, Maria, and Jim Carmenucci to begin that plan, which I would assume includes a resolution that you submit to me, the Board of Supervisors. So that's do we have to have a public hearing on that, or no?
I'll second
So that's
that.
a short process.
And in terms of timeline, I would expect we always hold a March meeting anyways, just to do the annual report, which we'll have to do for the current fiscal year we're in. I think along with that agenda will probably be the plan and maybe some other items that will have to get approved by the board before we go on to the next step. So I think in terms of timeline, that's probably what we can look at. And then, so we'll have our March meeting and then hopefully maybe another meeting in April or, May or June, something like that.
So we sequence pretty close following the March meeting.
Yeah, kind of like set the framework in the March meeting along with the annual report to approve that. And then, anything else that we have to approve as part of the process, we can do that.
When do you typically receive your financials?
What-
When do you usually receive your,
March, late March, early
Yeah.
April.
Yeah. Late March.
Early April,
We'll also.
Right.
and for 2026 activity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that short year will also require. Yeah.
Report as well as the.
Just thinking there are some monthly expenses that will have to be paid, so might as well get the process started now. So Mark seconded my resolution.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Thank you, motion so passed. Okay. Any other business that anybody would like to bring up? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn? the meeting?
I'll say.
What? No, we appreciate it.
Well, how do you
Yeah.
He is right.
How you doing? Plug it off. Plug it off.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Take care.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Yes.
Really.
Take care, I'll see you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I don't know.
Good.
Thank you. Yes, happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got a little-
I know.
going around.
Well,
It's taken out.
Oh, yeah, he's going out with his cousin, he's gonna be a giraffe.
Oh, really?
I thought my wife sent me a picture, I was looking through my phone because I meant to show my stats. For whatever reason, I didn't have it on my phone, I was like, well, we'll have to show you. I like both. Oh, yeah.
Well, as you know,
They
Facebook.
have so much fun.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
To the YMCA Halloween.
Anyway,
Dressed up as
we
a
know
little
for certain
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Really scary. And so I felt down.
Wow.
Shock to them.
It was a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
I was talking to my neighbor an hour ago for the meeting here,
Yeah.
and he has a granddaughter, 4 years old, and he has a wood chip
Yeah.
up on over his
yeah.
garage,
Yeah.
but
Not this year.
Like that.
A little too much, yeah.
She got over my.
Uh,
I don't wanna deal with that.
No.
Disappointment.
Like my grandkids, because
I'm
my
mentally.
daughter, they have a wedding too, Saturday.
Turn the lights down.
Take care. So we got the two grandkids, take them, trick or treating.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That'll be fun. Yeah. It's been a while since, since my kids were that little, yeah.
Exactly, and they didn't want to be seen with us, and I was that.
Yeah, right.
I'll be going out there, hopefully the weather cooperates.
Yeah, I know, never can tell, sometimes.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll have my bag, so hopefully we'll get chocolate off.
I was just gonna
Yeah,
say,
because
get your own bag, get a-
exactly,
I'm with you.
that's the candy.
You know, it is,
Take care.
they had to,
Switch you like-
Prosperity Partnership has a hand.
Right.
Wondering.
What's that?
Yeah. Might be other stuff. Don't take it down, don't stop.